movie.
Is that the one with
we are.
Liam Neeson
There
in
we
the
go.
Wolf?
Hey, we're live talking
Hey,
about
we're live.
Liam Neeson.
Hey!
So it was Liam Neeson in the Wolves. Excellent.
Yes.
I know a movie. Fantastic.
I meant Liam Neeson.
Thank you.
Anyway,
What a fantastic opening.
Well,
Welcome.
here we are at podcast. What number are we on?
40!
Yeah.
X'd out.
Extra large. Podcast
milestone.
extra large.
If I hadn't made the thread at 4 a.m. and thought it was quadruple X, then I could have said all sorts of fat jokes.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
Deja's watching, so I mean, if we want to make this thing, quadruple X, we can definitely, we can get that.
Oh, I was just gonna make Vin Diesel jokes.
those are always fun.
Hey.
God damn it.
Does,
It's now.
does quadruple X sort of like flip the whole thing over back into modesty and
No, it just gets even
everyone
more.
keeps their clothes on?
Right? Then it just turns into 2 girls, 1 cup.
Don't
That's
Oh.
Please, no.
I never watched that, and I'm glad I didn't.
No. Jesus. Did you not live? I assume you must not have gone to high school then.
I lived around high school. I didn't live in high school.
I would hope not. I don't think it's legal.
A squirrel living in the school grounds at the very edge. I had an actual pattern. But anyway, welcome to Seattle's Angels stream number 40. We actually have 2 guests with us this week. The one and only Skeeter the Lurker. Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Uh-huh. Infamous is he. And Uncom42, the founder of Twilight's Library.
Good to me.
Hi. So, casual reminder to everyone in basically every single chat that one of us is in. Please send us questions, otherwise we will flail about horribly for 90 minutes.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Did you see? There are 2 questions in the thread.
Oh, there are 2 questions in the thread.
Yes.
In the thread, people are like organized. This is crazy.
I feel like every time I post the thread, we get 0 comments, and somebody else posts it, and there's like a dozen. I
think this is pretty telling.
Yeah,
See,
apparently.
when I post a thread, I get dozens of comments, but they're all just, what? The last time with the bloody Seattle fish or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, whenever I post, I just post a picture of Trixie, and I think Faison usually just says something about like, "Oh, it's Trixie again."
Faison always bloody says something. That's just like a constant.
He's our
Anyway.
number 1 greatest fan.
Yeah, Alex, you were on the last
Yes.
round. You should probably
And
talk
so
about
was
that.
C Squared. C Squared was also here.
What? We got both of them? What?
I know,
No,
that's
it's
the-
amazing.
Cool. No one
This is
cares about
exciting.
this
Squared.
so, Alex.
Oh, hey.
This is gonna get really fucking crowded. So let's.
Easily.
You say that like it hasn't already, so.
Hey, you know what? Let's just try to keep things optimistic. All right.
Yeah.
So
I've
C
been
Squared.
playing this war of mine. Optimism isn't something I'm doing at the moment.
Well, you are British. I don't think you're allowed to be optimistic.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Scottish
Anyway,
happy.
whatever, man. You're all British to us.
Fucking go.
Yes. So C Squared and I were on the last round, and we decided, in our infinite wisdom, to do an all dazzling fake round, which
Infinite wisdom.
Which, as it turns out, is a lot harder than you might expect, given that there are 92 dazzling fix total.
No, there are 148.
When I checked, there was only
Must have
92.
doubled the double.
No, you have to include one or more. So you have to do a search for just aria, just adagio, just sonata, and then just two of them, and then all 3 of them together.
Oh,
See,
okay.
this is the sort of thing that nobody would bother to do except C Squared.
Right. Anyways, so there's
It makes sense if you
140.
think about it, though.
There's 148 of them. I think like 22 of them didn't qualify. I've read 40 of them.
I kind of just read the short descriptions of the rest of them, and let me tell you, it's really fucking hard to find 4 really good stories that are worth featuring.
I can only imagine.
That were under 1,000 views, which, as you know, if you read the round, we did not accomplish.
Oh, and Faison noticed. Faison watches
Of
all.
course he knows.
Oh,
He
yeah.
notices everything.
Speaking of short
Who would it be
descriptions,
but not Faison?
Yeah.
Speaking of short descriptions, there is a story in the Popular Stories bar that has quite the doozy of a short description.
Oh?
Well, I mean, that's just daily film fiction news for you.
Oh,
So
come on, I want to hear this. I want to hear
It's
this.
called Dem Apples, and it's the following. Romance and comedy. Rarity finds a jeweler at Twilight's library, and small craziness happen when Applejack comes around.
Of course. That reminds me of Apple Short, actually. Did Apple Short get brought up in chat like a day or two ago?
Yep.
I don't remember.
Absolutely. His stories were works of art, quite honestly, but they were the sort of works of art where you're just like, why the fuck is this in a museum? What is going on?
So it's like Picasso. That's how I feel about Picasso.
that's
Probably the two most memorable ones. One of them is a Tank X Princess Luna Klopfic. And the other one
Gym
is-
mechanics are mind-boggling.
and the other one is the short title is Gra, because the real title is too long, and the real title is the description. So,
Do you have a link to this? Because I gotta see this.
yeah.
Apple Short. If you
Apple
haven't
Short
checked
is
out
a
Apple
legend.
Short, yeah.
I think I've actually heard of Apple Short though.
He's pretty spectacular.
Yes.
Let's go.
Anyways.
Yes. Carry on.
Anyways.
So we found 4 stories worth featuring. Somehow.
Yes. Of 4 stories of variously worth featuring quality.
Well, I'd say these were all really good, and I think we're pretty fortunate that they existed.
I think they're all really good except maybe the last one, which is pretty darn good, but I wouldn't say really good.
That's
I
fair.
thought it was
That's
good,
fair.
but compared to the other 3, it was kind of like eh. But anyways, the first one we reviewed was by far my favorite, and that was The Year of RNS by Violet
Plural.
CLM.
Years of RNF.
Whatever,
You did
man,
this
I
like
think-
every time in the review. I had to correct you.
Hell?
Oh, did you? You actually corrected it? I didn't
Yeah, I
notice.
did.
Oh, you did? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
I'm
thought
that
it was
guy.
The Year of RNS. Okay.
Amateur hour.
Anyways, yes, The Years of RNS.
And wasn't
By-
the last one you were on before that, Alex? Wasn't that Cranky Doodle Donk?
that one was so messed up that it actually became funny again. So you know what? I was okay with it. Cranky Battle Donk. Like it. I don't know how I messed it up that bad, but apparently I did. Let that be a lesson to you guys. If you're going to be on a round with me, double check everything.
Absolutely.
Noted.
Anyways, right, the years, plural, of RNS is fucking interesting, and it's like it's basically you kind of see the whole dazzling backstory, and they've been living for thousands of years, and they've kind of lived through all of human history,
Right.
and they kind of like experience all these different things. They're always at the center of like some big event, and they always end up back together, even if they get separated in the beginning.
And
They always-
it also doesn't matter what side of the conflict they're on.
It's got
Sometimes they're even
got
against each other.
Yeah,
It's
got a
really
vague-
interesting to see all the things they did.
It's got a sort of Cloud Atlas feel, which I wish I should have used that in the review, but it feels like
Well, you
Cloud
did now,
Atlas.
so
Right, and we all know how many people listen to this podcast.
Million.
So, but yeah, no, it feels like Cloud Atlas, which I love. So, that was interesting. It's got like it ties everything together, and the way it's written is sort of like it feels kind of like you're reading like an ancient Greek myth. The way it's written. I mean, it's obviously not written
Yeah, I
like
that's
that,
a
but it's
fair
got that kind of
comparison.
feel. It's got that kind of feel to it, where it feels like the way it's described and it's written and stuff is.
I think at the
It
end
feels-
it's just a really great tragedy.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about it. This is actually a good tragedy fic, and it's not tagged tragedy because apparently the author said that it ended on too happy a note, which. What? It's like the most depressing ending I could think of.
Yes.
It's
But apparently, it's not the most depressing ending that the author could think of.
that is true.
it kind of makes you think if that's the case.
Right.
What the hell
Exactly.
could he pull out of his hat if
I don't know. I don't like because I was trying to think of how you would make it more depressing. I can't. I don't know. I can't think of it.
I don't know, it was-
But anyway,
he obviously had an idea.
it's a very good fic. and
It
it'll,
answers the question of what they were doing for 1,000 years very well.
which is, almost all the fics reviewed talked about their backstory in some way,
Except for the next one.
except for Long Live Sonata Dusk, which is the next one by Horse Voice, who I think we've featured before.
Multiple times.
Have we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Good reason.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Mhm.
Yeah, Horse Voice is good. He's a person who knows how to write words good.
Yeah, this was actually the first story I've ever read by him, and it was. I understand why we've reviewed him before.
Yeah, he's got a really good style. Like his writing is it's fluid. It all flows very nicely, and it sounds good, and the dialogue's great. It's fucking weird though. It is weird as fuck.
I've noticed he likes to write dark stories, and this was no exception.
But they're like almost always dark comedies, and they're fucking weird as hell.
Right.
But I love
in this one, Sonata Dusk is dying or is dead or something. She meets
I don't
death.
know.
And death is creepy. Like, if you looked at the review, the image I posted, he reminds me of the stereotypical neckbeard. It was just...
The way he describes him, I was like, oh, wow. It is very, like, neckbeardy. But, because he's wearing...
That really contrasted with Sonata's implicit trust of death. You shouldn't be trusting of someone that comes up to you in a van and says, "Hey, get in."
And who looks like a neckbeard.
Right.
Because he was even wearing a cheap-looking trilby that was at least one size too small. Like, come on.
And
Anybody who can't afford a nice trilby is not somebody you should trust.
Anybody who can afford a nice trophy and has proven it is not someone you should trust. Jesus Christ.
Well,
But
right, but I'm just...
you also know that you're in for a good time because that's quite a unique way of looking at death.
It was fucking weird. And like I said, he sings a song. What was it called? The Ballad of Nasty Joe, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That sounds like something straight out of Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's fucking weird, but I described it as it sounds like a Steely Dan song, which I stand by. I just don't think
that's a bad thing. Steely Dan can be has a number of good songs to him.
I'm not saying he doesn't. It's just got a weird sound to it. But anyways, this song or this fic did allow me to post Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch dressed up like a DJ spinning a record. So that was worth it. Because I decided to use only Salem GIFs for this entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Believe us, we noticed.
I also got to make a "Death Comes for the Archbishop" joke, which was pretty great. Anyways, right, the next fic that we reviewed was "Welcome to the Show" by DWK, who I could not stop equating to DW from Archer. Not Archer, Arthur. Archer's a good show.
Whoa. Archer crossover.
Oh my god. Wow,
Phrasing.
imagine that.
Phrasing.
Imagine that. That would be
Something.
oh boy, that would be
I don't know what that would be, but that would be something.
Right.
It would definitely be something. Anyways.
So, Welcome to the Show is a much-needed aria fic. Earlier I mentioned that I searched to find how many Dazzling stories there are. There are 30 featuring only Sonata Dusk, 22
Christ.
featuring only Adagio Dazzle, but only 4 that feature just aria. So this is...
There we go. What you're saying, Alex?
What? Oh.
Rude.
It's the one thing this fic was really missing was some Trixie Aria shipping. That would have made it
You would say that,
infinitely
wouldn't you?
better.
Why did we mute C Squared and leave Alex?
You know what?
Because reasons.
I'm gonna ride that ship train all the way off the big cliff.
It is the same dream that Celestia's going to suplex.
Something by the end of next week, I will be completely shocked.
What?
Is this the train that Celestia is going to suplex that you're riding
Why
on?
not? Sure. imagine that would be a hell of an inside joke. If the train is Trixie and Arya.
Inside an inside joke. Jesus Christ.
Oh boy, that's too meta for me.
Okay.
Says
So,
the guy.
welcome
who
to
wrote
the
story
show.
The feature
Has a lot of really great characterization, and it incorporates
Yes.
backstory to not just have backstory to have backstory, but to support the characterization it's presenting. So
Yes.
it uses every part of the story matters to how the characters are developing, and it's really great to see it all come together.
Yeah, that's why I said somewhere in here that Arya develops and grows because of the actions, and I was like almost like a real character because it feels like that's so rare in fan fiction to have like actually well developed characters. But
It's rather rare, isn't it?
but it happened, and the only thing that I wouldn't say I dislike, the only thing that kind of put me off about it is that it's not so much dark, but it is really mature, I guess. There's lots of like
Yes.
drinking and smoking, and Adagio beats
These are
Sonata,
not nice
and
people.
it
They
didn't.
are not nice people.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes them growing feel that much better.
Right. I mean,
There's
they
the
are
best
villains,
people.
so I wouldn't expect them to be nice people.
Yeah, but they're awesome villains.
Well,
I agreed with that one.
Yeah, I fucking love the Sirens. They're so good. But anyways, welcome to the show is very, very good. So, you know.
and then
Oh,
finally,
I described it as being like Train Spotted, which I think is a pretty fair comparison, except with less drugs.
yes.
Which you know, in retrospect, is kind of the point of Train Spotting. So
I was
maybe
about to
it's not-
say,
So maybe it's not like Train Spotting at all.
Alex Magnet, everybody.
I can't admit
Here all week.
Mhm.
And then the last one is To Be Adored, which had the unfortunate position of going after 3 really excellent stories and being, you know, pretty good. So it's basically a story about Adagio, and I mean Sonata and Arya are part of it too, but they're kind of just off in the background and they
Right.
show up occasionally. But it's about Adagio, who, contrary to like every other backstory in these other stories, Adagio is a really terrible singer. And it kind of pisses her off because she wants to be able to sing, because in sea pony culture, that's like their whole big thing is they sing. And they always sing together. But Adagio wants to sing alone because she's selfish.
So she's a bit.
I was going to make a
She
selfish
wants to be
joke, but-
adored, as the title would suggest.
Yes. So she makes a covenant with some guy, a mysterious stranger, who gives her the gems they wear in the movie that give them magical singing powers. And
She gets 3 of them, one for each her, Arya, and Sonata,
Right,
and that's kind of where the
yes.
story ends, where they put them on.
yeah, but then you know how. So if you've seen the movie, then you know how that all works out, and so it becomes sort of like a pseudo tragedy.
Right. All they really wanted to do was just fit into sea pony culture, but
Adagio wanted to be kind of a selfish
well,
bitch.
initially, but like as they went in through their remedial schooling, as they called it, they just became more and more bitter.
Yes, she was acting a bit shellfish.
Okay. Now that you've gotten out.
And somebody want to post that Salem gif of him saying, "Sometimes I just like to hear myself talk."
I'm looking at it right now. Copy image location. Go to chat. There we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Alex's face went.
No.
Anyway, with that out of the way,
Yes.
we do actually have 2 guests here, as we mentioned before. We are taking questions, and we do have a couple of questions and a couple of notes. First of all, someone on the YouTube video posted a comment. His name is Will Tingle.
Oh, come on.
C squared, you are my hero. Will Tingle, yep. Also, Raz wants us to all comment on how much of a scrub he is. So, yeah, you're a scrub, mate. Get wrecked.
We also have the following questions from chat. M1
We
Grand asks, Plum, why did you shave? Midnight Radio Hotline asks, Plum, why do you look like a little boy? Frostian asks, Plum, why do you look like you're 12?
You know what? I'm not the only one who noticed then.
Yeah, you're not.
You see, I didn't want to say anything because I'm polite,
yeah.
but
The truth is, my beard was stolen by Skeeter, as you can
Oh
tell.
God.
Yeah.
Right. It was a hard battle, but I finally got a hold of it.
Worth it.
Pretty
Worth
much.
it. Definitely.
Um.
Yes. So, do we want to do these questions from the thread first, or do we want to talk to our guests?
Yeah, let's have a quick talk to them. Let's just, for people who don't know who you are, Skeeter the Lurker somehow, and Arkham 42, who are you? Let's go with Skeeter first.
All right. Name's Skeeter. You've probably seen one of my thousands of comments around the site. Voracious reader and pretty much all-around nice guy. Also was at BronyCon and met a bunch of these fine fellas there as well, and you probably saw me there as well.
Yes, indeed.
You were at BronyCon 14.
Mm-hmm. I was actually.
Damn.
All the cool people were. Where were you, Plum?
Yeah.
Okay, I see how it is.
I was at BronyCon 13 with that Trixie cosplayer. You never got.
God!
Oh,
Damn it.
that. Yeah.
I forgot.
I don't think I saw that. I'm curious now.
Oh, I'll post in chat.
Yeah, Papa.
boy.
But yeah, I'm actually going to be going to BronyCon 15, like 99% sure this time. So
Awesome.
this is gonna be cool.
I'm almost
I-
getting myself to go as well.
I'm really hoping I can go, but I'm not that confident. So hopefully I can, though.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
So you can meet more Trixie cosplayers.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well. Yes.
Or
So I
play
can,
as Trixie. Be a.
no, I want to hold a panel that's just talking about how great Trixie is. That's it. For an hour and a half.
I bet you could make it work. I truly do.
Central stage, like the main hall. Look. But just just replace BronyCon with TrixieCon, where it's just like.
You know what?
You
know what? Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all. I'm thinking about it.
Some people might disagree.
My petition or something like that.
Yeah.
You just set up shop right across the street from BronyCon, and you'll be like,
Have it the local bar.
just take over a Starbucks or something and just paste Trixie over the.
There's a really nice like Mexican restaurant across the way, and there's also Jimmy John's. You could sort of like commandeer one of them and just talk about.
Jimmy
I
John.
would rather go to the Noodles and Co. That's across the
Oh,
street.
Noodles and Co. It was so good.
It was.
I don't remember that.
Just theme Trixie to whatever restaurant you take over, like Trixie.
Yeah.
Rename
Like,
all
you
the
know,
items on the menu.
You know, Plum, you say that people might disagree about TrixieCon being a good idea, but if you know me, I've never really cared about people disagreeing with what they think is a good idea or a bad idea. I don't really.
That explains 85% of your stories?
I would go with 100%, but that's just me.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the answer from one of our guests, Arkham 42. For those who don't know, who are you?
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
Alright, well, I'm Arkham42, and most of you probably know me from being the admin of Twilight's Library. I also admin a number of other groups, but our Twilight's Library seems to be the one everyone focuses on, anyways. I've also written a couple things, and the only person on film fiction that I think I've actually met in purpose, or that I've actually met in person, would be Horizon.
Ah.
You met Horizon.
Yes, I have.
Lucky for that, by the way.
To meet.
Is he a changeling?
Didn't appear to be.
That's
That
what
is
they
how
want to
you
know.
know.
Didn't appear to be being the key word.
At no point did he look like a changeling.
Well, they wouldn't if he was a changeling.
That's what he wants you to think.
Right. That's
Exactly.
I mean, that would be the point. It's sort of like saying that shapeshifter doesn't look like a shapeshifter.
That is literally what he said, Alex. That's not sort of what he said. That's literally.
God.
Anyway.
You know, Plum, sometimes I don't understand your British English. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. Anyways,
my favorite picture on the internet is it's the Union Jack, and it says English, and then it's the Old Glory simplified English. That's just fantastic to me. Anyway,
I don't get it.
Arkham, what
Yes.
possessed you to create a group for collecting a dickload of stories? I believe is the technical term.
It's more like a metric butt ton, if I'm honest.
Look, it's a lot. A dickload's sort of a nebulous number, so that's why I went with that.
Mhm.
Well, that wasn't the original intention, to be honest.
So what was the original intention then?
Well, I'd gotten into My Little Pony, and I'd started reading fan fiction, and I read I read a lot myself. So I'd also convinced my brother to get into My Little Pony, and the two of us were basically swapping stories we'd read recently. Now, my trouble was that my favorites were huge and had absolutely no organization on them. And a lot of times the two of us were mentioning stories and we'd already both read them.
Right.
So I decided that it'd be a good idea to create a group to just organize my favorite stories in, and that my brother could contribute to as well, and we could both put our favorite stories in there.
So,
Originally-
Twilight's library is basically a giant bookshelf.
Pretty
Bookshelf
much.
before it became a bookshelf.
Right, but
So
what
the
I
book-
want to know,
You created a bookshelf before there were bookshelves, is what it started out as.
Pretty much.
What I want to know though is how the hell did it explode and become like a huge group? Because I've seen lots of people that have their own bookshelves or groups for their favorite stories, so they can organize them. So how did Twilight's library become a big thing?
I have to think that it's just being there at the right time, honestly, and doing the right moves.
Probably.
I just gradually expanded things, and I think I was one of the early people doing it.
Oh well.
That would probably be a pretty close theory to go with.
Yeah, well,
timing and the
fair
way
enough.
you set up the
So-
admin system.
I know you guys have like a submission process / thing that you have to that stories have to go through to get in.
Once
But
a blue moon, it opens for
Right.
5 minutes.
yeah, that's so the legends.
Better at that.
But so are there like stories that are like grandfathered in that you just had before you never removed, but like they wouldn't get added now?
I'd say some of the early stories probably wouldn't be approved now.
Fair enough.
The ones when I was the only one putting stories in there,
Yeah.
Right.
because the standards happened after the fact.
Right. That's what I like. EQD, same kind of thing.
To be fair, like, I will freely admit my standards a couple of years ago were an awful lot lower than they are now.
I think everybody's were.
Yeah.
I found that. Yeah, that does seem to happen a lot, doesn't it?
People's standards were lower. The quality of the writer pool in the
In general.
community was lower.
Yeah,
as well.
like
That said, Sock was looking for stories for us to review, I think yesterday, and he actually stumbled upon a review I made 108 weeks ago.
Jesus. That's like 2 years.
Yeah. That's just like, why have I been doing this for 2 years? Good fucking. It was a TWE review as well.
I had that same revelation that I've been doing this for too long. When I recently got a comment on a story and somebody said, "Oh, glad to see you back in the saddle," and I was like, I can't tell if that's actually a pun or not. And I realized, holy shit, I've been doing this for way too long.
Just kind of sit back and go, wait, wow, where did the time go?
Yeah, the same.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, the same thing happened shortly after that when somebody went and like favorited like 20 or so of my stories, which I was like, oh, they're favoriting everything, and I realized that's not even half of all of my stories. And I was like, holy shit, I have way too many stories.
Oh dear.
Yeah, man. You can
I've-
make enough stories.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've been doing this for too long, and it's not even been that long. It's been like 3 years.
It's time to retire on the top of your game, Alex. It's time to.
Is this the top of my game? It's a pretty depressing top.
He's 2 days away from retirement. He's getting too old for this shit.
Danny Grover standing right there.
Is this where I meet Mel Gibson?
the topic of the game will be when you post Suplexia.
Oh, I still have that like halfway finished in a Google Doc somewhere. I need to go get back to it.
Excellent.
Yes, you do.
I've got a quick question. Who was it who made the original Twilight Library ribbon?
Oh,
The
Is it
original
no?
one. Let's see.
Because someone in the YouTube comments is saying, what are your opinions on Seattle's Angels having a ribbon like that? And I think that might actually be a decent idea.
oh,
so
Sokka's
anyway.
getting ideas.
Let's
Well-
let's get Sokka doing it.
Sokka's our resident artist.
He's gonna make an art.
I
Yeah.
like how he saw a picture of Pinkie Pie being put in the corner with the dunce cap and then just tap onto it. That's fantastic.
That's beautiful.
It was beautiful. Anyway, on with the questions, really.
It's beautiful.
The questions. Wait. Are you asking about what questions we had in the thread?
We do have some questions somewhere.
Well, yeah, we've got.
I've got them all backed up here. I'm keeping track of this shit. I'm
okay.
on top of it.
I have it right here too. But go ahead.
No, you don't. I have it.
Okay. All right.
Archonix asks a question for Arkham. Is there anything you'd like to do to all of the people who keep asking about the folders, even though it's been explained already?
Well, you
In
know,
great detail.
well, you know, for a long time at work, I had I had something printed out that was basically what somebody that called me said to one of my one of my supervisors, saying that I had the patience of a saint. It comes in handy.
So,
I can
you've never wanted to reach through your computer screen and strangle somebody over the internet.
You slap him. That's what you do.
It happens to me.
It
happens
Occasionally.
with a terrifying frequency.
Well, keep in mind we also have to deal with people that resubmit the exact same story that failed with absolutely no changes too.
Ugh.
Oh god.
Every
We also have
time if one story isn't resubmitted like that, it's a good day.
I think the worst we've ever had, like in Seattle's Angels, is one person who like promoted their own fic like 3 times or something. Like
On two different accounts.
There was a guy who promoted the same fic like 3 times, but another person.
There was one guy called Rainbow Lightning or whatever it was.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, who he promoted his own story, and self-promotion's not allowed in our group, so we were just like, no, don't do that. So he created a second account.
Claiming it was his sister, I think, or something?
No. This one, he didn't claim it was his sister.
Oh.
This one was, he didn't do anything like that. He later created his sister and his friend and his other sister, I think. He had 2 sisters at some point.
So he has all these accounts that are like 10 minutes old. They favorited one story, which is his. They've followed one person who is him, and then they're recommending this story. It's like,
Yeah,
we're not
How
that stupid.
does he think you guys are?
Look, I'm not saying we're not stupid, but we're not that stupid.
If you're going to create a second account, do a better job at least. I mean, follow a couple people, put some favorites in there, put up some pictures.
Wait a week.
Make the account more than 5 minutes before you intend to use it.
Yes.
Well, you gotta give
dear.
them points for trying, though. I mean,
Well,
That's barely trying. That's like saying you give points for someone trying. I don't know.
he turned up to the race. He didn't run. He just stood there on the start line. He
Right.
Stood there at the start line, then faceplant.
he played kids soccer, and he got the participation trophy.
No,
He didn't even show up to the game though. He came 25 minutes late on the bus and just sat in the bleachers watching, and he got a participation trophy.
It's like the ultimate you tried stuff, isn't it? We need to Photoshop that onto a gold star. You were on the bus 25 minutes late and sat in the bleachers.
Do it.
The funny thing is, there was
That's how little you have to try to get our attention.
Yeah. What were you saying, Arkham?
The funny thing is that there's only one story that I rejected before creating the rejection thread, and I only remember which one it was because later on the first page of the rejection thread, I re-rejected it. They submitted it again with no changes.
Yeah, that reminds me of the thing. Equestria Daily is changing their submission and acceptance rules, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like,
Again?
Sort of.
They've gotten
Wait,
rid
again?
of the strike system.
Oh, yeah.
The strike system, that's been gone forever.
Yeah.
For
No,
months.
no, but they've gotten rid of it's not been gone months. It's been gone like a couple of weeks or something because they
Feels like
recently
months.
they've recently allowed you to resubmit it unlimited times and all sorts of weird things. So
Yeah, no, but that's been like that for like 3 months because I know because I've submitted like 4 stories in that time.
if it has, we haven't talked about it in 3 months, Alex.
No, we haven't, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, whatever.
It's a fairly old rechange that they did, I think. Middle of the year or something.
Yeah, they changed it. I remember when they did. I was like, oh, cool. But I don't know. I've never really had that much of a problem getting on EQD. Not to sound not to sound too pompous, but I have been rejected for some fucking stupid ass reasons though.
Let me guess. Like Trixie was out of character in one of your stories.
No. Do you remember the story I wrote about all the it was the one that was like Celestia makes a bunch of weird laws and shit?
I remember that one.
Yes, that one was rejected because Celestia was out of character, and I was like, "Excuse me?"
Of course, I was half tempted to joke about Winona being out of character and Winona commits seppuku. Being out of character.
I did not submit that one. I should have. But
now, just do it.
yeah, no, I think it's too short. So I think it's only like 1.9K or something.
So close.
What we need to do now is the sequel that everyone's been waiting for, called Winona Commits Sudoku, where she spends a morning trying to understand numbers. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I've been rejected. I've been rejected from Equestria Daily several times. Usually for legitimate reasons, but that one time kind of made me a little bit mad because it was stupid. Especially when I submitted Applejack, Princess of Eyebrows, and that got accepted in like 25 minutes.
Wow.
It was I submitted and it was posted the same day. That's how
it immediately bounced through the pre-reader chat, and I think like Skeeter got involved.
Apparently,
so nepotism to the highest order.
Which story is this still like? Did he actually like the Applejack one, or was it a different one?
He likes the Ariane one.
Yeah, he likes the Ariane one.
He wanted to post the Ariane fic on EQG, and everyone was just like, Seth, no.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That would have been a hell of an AQD post though. Live free, Reinhardt. Imagine that.
Yeah. I would love that.
There was a shitstorm in the comments on the fic. Imagine on the EQD.
Yeah, I love how many of the comments were just like, "You're Nazi supported." Like you missed all the points.
Right. I forgot that mentioning a character is the same thing as supporting their views.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. Not even that. She's a unicorn supremacist earth pony.
Which is like that's the whole point. Oh my God. I love that. I love that story so much. Though it's one of my favorites that I've ever written. This is so great.
Yeah.
Well, before we carry on with laughing at Nazis or whatever we're doing, I would just like to point out that I realised that this is the XL edition, and we have far too many people in the chat at the moment for it to be completely heard.
Heyo.
Great. Anyway, carry on.
So this is appropriate because we're talking about Nazis, and the public chat is apparently they're all listing their fetishes.
Yeah.
Literally, Deja literally asked, "What is everyone's fetish?" and everyone is answering her question in earnest.
No.
We're gonna gloss over that.
I wish that I could write an Ariane fic sequel, not sequel even, just a second Ariane fic, without seeming like a hack. But I don't think it's possible. I think it's just
You don't
think
already
it's a
seem like a
bit-
hack?
Well, right. That's more of a hack. I should have said. I don't want to seem like more of a hack.
You're a
Oh,
hack.
just sit tight, Alex. Just sit
I know, Sock. You better write that story. I'm telling you.
Do it. Man, you too.
But we should.
It's the way, Joe.
We should talk about
this.
the.
Yeah.
Whoa! I thought we were
So-
talking about the questions in the thread. I thought,
Well, what we do is you guys want to keep on talking about Nazis.
Sure.
Quick question from Dosu. Dosu?
This is
I never know how to pronounce his name.
fourth live stream in a row we've tried to say his name and no one's gotten it right. He hasn't
It's got an
come-
accent. It's confusing. Okay. I don't know.
I always said it was Dosieks, even though I know that's wrong.
Those sucks. Moving
Deus
on.
Ex, right?
If it's supposed to be French, it'd be like Dosio, I guess. Dosio?
There are questions in this thread, aren't there?
Carry on.
So
Have.
the question, which is very appropriate because we have all these representatives of Twilight's library here. The question asks, did Wright die?
No.
No.
No is the answer. No.
There you
It's
go.
just-
Next
it's
question.
Ta-da!
Actually, this is slightly related to Twilight's Library because a few threads ago in that group, someone suggested that the threads on the front, the links on the front page be cleaned up because there were a bunch of groups that were now defunct or whatever. And someone asked if Wright was dead in that because what may not be immediately obvious is 99.9% of what actually goes on in Wright, like the admin work, doesn't happen on FimFiction. Like it's in Google
Right.
Docs. So
Yeah.
the forum is literally there just so we can say this is our group. It has no other function. We don't use it for
Yes.
anything.
Right. Yeah.
Just a means to
It's
contact
like-
you guys.
And as of late, as of late though, even the Skype chat, the non-stupid one, is
WIP, yeah.
completely dead. It's been dead.
Well,
It's always like that. There are times
I know,
where
I know,
there'll
I
be,
know.
like lots of people asking questions about things and learning about writing
Right.
or asking some sort of
But,
question, and then every other time it's dead.
Right.
That's just the nature of it.
Wright's not dead. It's just taking a long nap.
A good way to look at it.
It's just, yeah, okay, whatever. Next one, Pat.
The chat is suggesting that it's pronounced Dozu.
Dozu. That's kind of close to what I
Dozu.
said. Dosio. No, that's what I said.
I like that the comments either side of this are, it's a shame that BDSM porn is pretty much banned in Britain and various other things. That is something I want to talk about. Cameron is a fucking twat. He's banned like all sorts of porn. He's actually
Wait, why?
he's made kinky porn illegal. Seriously.
That's stupid.
It's so fucking.
You can only have.
Look, I
The best
realize
thing
that.
about this.
I do recall a picture of a protest where these protesters held up a sign where they're like, Cameron can't do it with his wife, so he bans it for everybody.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture.
Because one of the things they've banned
Back on
are,
the T.
yeah, one of the things they've banned is female ejaculation and stuff like that. Like,
What?
it's a really
What's
weird
the point
thing.
then?
But
Why
here's the
even watch
thing.
porn?
Here's the thing. There have been protests, and these protests are pretty great, because you've got things like fight for your right to fist on...
Nice.
You've got massive amounts of protests where it's like half of the protesters are lying down and the other half are sitting on their faces. Outside Westminster, and they're all dressed up for the occasion too. So you've got
Of course.
Yeah,
you've got people in traditional like hunting gear with like trumpets and bugles and all sorts of things, just face sitting all around the Houses of Parliament. It's fantastic.
That's
Plum, you're killing Her Majesty.
my
If it wasn't real life, I would think it was Monty Python.
Yeah.
it's just such an oxymoron, though, trying to ban obscenity in pornography.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my understanding of British politics. My understanding of British politics is that everybody hates David Cameron.
Yes.
So why is he the prime minister again?
Because for a brief moment, some people didn't hate him as much as they should have, and even then, it wasn't enough to get him his power. So other people had to say he had to form a coalition with people.
What?
He had to form a coalition government with people whose policies are literally the exact polar opposite in order to get him. That is not an exaggeration.
How do you do that?
The Conservatives
how does-
and the Liberal Democrats teamed up. Like,
Wow, that's dedication there.
I can't even imagine the idea of in our Congress, Democrats and Republicans teaming up. And just I can't imagine a scenario where that would take
It'll
place.
never happen.
it's crazy. That's not even where it gets crazy. Like, one of his latest promises was to cut taxes, which is, you know, that's
It's
a
always
promise.
that's always the promise.
And in the same speech, like 3 lines later, he said he's going to reduce the deficit, and he's like, he's going to increase funding to parts of the public sector. So he's going to spend more money, and stop earning as much money.
Those things are mutually incompatible.
That doesn't sound like something possible, really.
It almost sounds like when we started a war and lowered taxes at the same time. It's almost like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Almost, not quite though.
Oh yeah, apparently Labour made some sort of porn illegal too, according to Arch, although I've not heard as much of that. But UK has a sort of right-wing side to the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party is a right-wing side, but then we've got the super right, we've basically got the British Nazi Party and UKIP, who are basically British Nazi Party light. So
from watching John Oliver's show, I discovered, assuming, I don't know if this is actually correct, but apparently Scotland is mostly liberal, whereas England is mostly conservative.
Yes.
Right. So, but you don't really get to pick because it's not. I mean, it's not always an English guy who gets to become prime minister, but right now David Cameron is, and he's conservative apparently.
Yeah.
Very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And so Scotland, I assume Scottish people are pretty pissed at him.
See, it's not even that. Like, David Cameron is annoyingly conservative. Well, he's the leader of the Conservative Party. He's a twat. But main problems with Mal. One, he's a posh twat to 90% of the country. And for the other 10%, he's not conservative enough. And that's when you get the batshit crazies like the British Nationalist Party and UKIP.
There was a really...
This is... Wow.
Long story short, politics are fucked. But thank Christ, we don't have American politics.
Oh.
That's all I can say.
I don't know. He kind of sounds like a British Mitt Romney.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. That's how but the thing is, at least Mitt Romney doesn't come across like a douchebag. He's just, like, when you see him speak, you're like, he seems like a nice guy. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like it.
But David Cameron comes across like a pompous English dickbag.
Yeah, when you see his face, your mind just screams, "What a pompous twat!"
And the John Oliver bit, they showed a picture of him when he went to like Oxford, I think, and he's wearing like fucking tails, and you're like, Jesus Christ,
tails?
He's so like stereotypically posh British.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, we do have some questions in the chat here. Artronics has a question for Skeeter.
Oh boy.
What's it like being so Skeeter?
Like being Skeeter from Arthur. Not Arthur. Was it Arthur?
Doug.
Damn it.
Fired.
I couldn't remember.
Out the airlock with you.
I'm getting my 90s cartoons mixed
I'm not blue.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Not green.
That would make for a very interesting bus ride home.
So they can show up 25 minutes late and end up on the bleachers. What other questions do we have, Pav?
We have. Hang on. There's one from Chono in the red.
Oh god.
Was it the one you were gonna read?
You may read it, Alex.
Okay.
I'll share.
Do you guys avoid using any particular words when you write? For instance, try to use deceptively or ladder.
I try to avoid all possible uses of the word minge gurgle.
I try to avoid all words.
For a serious answer, I try to avoid all adverbs because they are terrible. I still use them because I'm a fucking hack, but if at all possible, avoid using adverbs ever because they are lazy and stupid.
Or
That
a
is
similar
general
word,
advice,
avoiding
yes.
being a weird Trixie. Um,
I think I would say that it depends on the person and it depends on your personal habits. I mean, I think that we all have words that we use a little too frequently. Like, I have a very bad habit of, having every character smile or every character laugh, especially because they're ponies. So, knowing that I need to avoid the word smile or, synonyms of that, but maybe not necessarily you, but you might have other words. So I think it kind of depends on looking through your own works and deciding if
Yeah.
there's any words that you overuse.
By the way, you saying having every character smile because they're ponies reminded me of Plum. You might remember this from the Outside Insight contest. It was. How was it called?
I need to read a good chunk of those entries.
It was something about like her scarf fluttered in the wind. I think is what it was called. Right?
Oh, the one with
The dragon. No, not the the other dragon one. Not the one with Cadence. The one with the OC and the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a long conversation inside of a cave.
Yeah, but her scarf fluttered on something without wind was about Iron Will and a different pony, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was the Cadence one with the dragon.
I didn't read any Cadence one with the dragon, I don't think. So that must have been one that got knocked out.
Well, whatever. Yeah, I don't think that one made it. But anyways, the one I'm talking about is the one where there's an OC and she talks to a dragon named.
Yes. Something in an ice cave.
The OC was named Artemis, I think, right? Artemis.
Possibly.
It was a Greek goddess. I know that for sure.
Looking at the fic in question, it does have Cadence as one of the character tags, so.
It's a different. Oh yeah, I know, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about a different one.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember.
Alex is so good at telling stories.
But anyways, what my favorite? I really like that story. It's kind of meandering, which is my problem with it. But the thing that I really, really liked and thought was really funny and clever is the whole story is about this dragon and this pony talking, and they're trying to come up with words to describe ponies to figure out why to figure out why the dragon hates ponies. And the dragon comes up with words like arrogant and all this other stuff. But my favorite one is after they come up with all these words, the dragon comes up with one final word, and that's stupid. And she complains that ponies are incredibly stupid. And the pony, after they had this whole long conversation, she's like, you know what, you're right, we are stupid, but I think it needs something. And she goes and draws a heart around the word stupid. And and that to me perfectly describes how I see ponies. They are stupid with a little heart around it.
It certainly makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's such a because I mean, for me, whenever I write comedies, I think of all the characters as being stupid because it's funny, but lovably stupid.
Of course, I've got to point out something because I recently reread one of Terry Pratchett's books called oh, shut up. It was what was it? Lords and Ladies, of course, which is all about the return of elves to this world. And
remember that one?
And it's always got. I love Terry Pratchett. It's got there are certain words which you can use, and they're entirely context dependent. Like the word terrific can mean it's pretty great, or it can mean it invokes terror. One of the there are a lot of lines like that. Stupid can be you can refer to someone as stupid in an affectionate way, but one of the ones what was it? I know I'm rambling a bit here, but there was one word. Oh God, it'll come back to me in a minute.
Man, I remember the section you were talking about too. Nobody ever said elves were nice. Elves are bad.
Yes, that's it. But there's also one of the things early on was elves are good at keeping things alive. They can keep them alive for weeks. That just struck me as incredibly sinister, despite nothing in it actually being sinister at all.
Yeah.
You have that in a hospital where you've got someone who's very good at keeping patients alive. well, that's fine. And you've got elves who just sort of like to inflict pain on anything they can. So.
It reminds me of Scaramanga from James Bond. Which one was that one? That was You Only Live
Man with
Twice,
the Golden
right?
Gun.
Was it?
Yes,
Yep, that was the Man with the Golden Gun.
You're right. You're right.
Scaramanga, the
You're
guy
right.
who
Yes.
rode the
The guy with the
Golden
star.
assassin.
And he had a bullet in his brain, and he couldn't feel pain, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he had a superfluous third nipple.
Yes.
Yes, right.
Remember that.
And he was fucking broken as fuck in the PS2 game Nightfire. I think it was Nightfire.
Yep.
No, who was broken was fucking Oddjob.
No, Oddjob was the best.
Inside of
Cats everywhere, just hats.
No, that's just
Constantly
No,
throwing
guns,
hats.
just It's Team Fortress 2 before it got popular.
Oddjob was my favorite character in that. Was just I could just throw hats constantly.
You're just a shit.
It was so great. One hit kills for days.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Remember the fucking laser gun?
Oh god.
The samurai.
The story of that game was fucking retarded.
Yeah, pretty much.
You like go to Japan and you kill these like Yakuza people, and then you go to space after you infiltrate like some shipping yard or something. It was like Moonraker
Well, it's a
mixed
James
with.
Bond film. It's all about.
I know, but it was like Moonraker mixed with Goldeneye.
That's actually a fair way of describing it, yeah.
I have to agree with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick reminder to the chat that we are open for questions if you have anything to ask for our special guests.
Have any questions about Nightfire? I'm happy to answer them.
Have any questions about more ways in which Alex is a shitlord for taking Oddjob?
I took that. That check your privilege website.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Okay.
I checked my privilege. Apparently, I am a shitlord.
I just love the website that is. Oh god, I've got a private message.
Well, share this private message.
Read it for the rest of the class.
No passing jokes now.
It's a message from Octavia Harmony, so I think I'm going to ignore it for the minute.
Yes. He's wanting to enter into the public Seattle's Angel chat.
I'll get to it in a minute, but what was I talking about?
Well, if we're running short on questions, I do have one for Skeeter.
Go
No,
ahead.
don't worry.
So, what is with the obsession with Aku?
Besides him being fucking awesome.
Samurai
That,
Jack
yeah.
is
I
probably
throw
one
him into the
of the best
future.
animations I've ever come across, bar none. And I'm
Agreed.
right on top along with My Little Pony. Of course, I wouldn't be in this fan base if I didn't like that. But just everything about that show was absolutely awesome. I thought it's just like the descriptive. This is how like they did as minimal dialogue as possible. The imagery, and then there's the whole backstory with Aku, who's like this cosmic being who just manifests out of nowhere, beat the hell by 3 gods, and still survives. It's just, how can you go wrong with a guy like that?
It's a really great show.
Great
And
flaming eyebrows.
it has the Scotsman, who's the best John DiMaggio character of all time.
Oh god,
Yes,
his insult is fantastic.
I love it.
It's
20
20
seconds long.
It's beautiful. Plum, I know you're Scottish. I'm sure you can do it.
Buy me a drink first, and then there's
I
also
will.
like a BronyCon. I'll do it.
Okay.
That'll be the panel. That'll be a panel. Just
All right.
one long insult from start to finish. But no, there's also characters like a disco samurai as well. Who's like a black samurai with an afro.
Oh, right.
Afro Samurai?
The
Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a pretty good show, I thought. The first season of that was pretty good. I should probably dig it.
No, I was still talking about Samurai Jack.
Oh,
so.
you were? Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking
What?
Afro Samurai.
There was a-
I
I thought you were
didn't
talking about Afro Samurai.
No, there's a character in Samurai Jack who was an Afro Samurai, or something like that.
Oh.
All I remember was that he was extremely black, and he was a samurai. That's all I remember from him because he
Was he also voiced by Samuel L. Jackson?
It would have been awesome if he was, but I
would
don't
have been
think he
awesome if
was.
he was, yeah.
Does anybody remember a PS? I think it was PS2. Was it PS2?
Probably.
It was something called Rising Zan.
No clue.
And it was a game. It was like a samurai who was an old west samurai, so he used guns and shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's fucking great. He like goes to train in Japan and comes back to find the old west being taken over by Yakuza thugs and decides to fucking like fight through. It's amazing. But the most notable part about Rising Zan is the amazing theme song that it has. Rising Zan, Samurai Gunman.
I'm looking at some screenshots at the moment. There's some pretty interesting boss images. There's one which is basically just a dude in a tunnel with giant fat hands. It looks like he's like a sumo wrestler or something. But his hands are like twice the size of Zan. It's interesting.
He's a samurai gunman.
And the row before that, I just googled Rising Zan, and below the image of this boss sumo character is fucking Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. Not incorrect.
Not incorrect. You're right. He is a Japanese.
Cyborg ninja,
samurai.
Yeah.
You know, when they announced Metal Gear Revengeance, I thought the name was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
The
no,
game is a joke.
that's the real name.
Actually, the gameplay is actually pretty phenomenal in the game. Like
It's really fun, but like
Yeah.
the name is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Revengeance.
With Metal Gear, it's half of it is really super serious business with some really like PTSD and all sorts of horrible things going on, and then the other half is just like cats doing backflips. Like
Metal Gear!
Hold on. Did you say cats doing backflips?
In Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, there is a cat, and if you try and attack the cat, it will backflip out of the way of your sword.
Okay, I've got to get this game now.
You cannot kill the cat.
Hold on. Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
I've got to look this up.
It's a cat because it just backflips out the way of all your ninja moves. It's pretty cool.
You know, this reminds me real quick of a short story I have.
Is it about nanomachines, son?
What?
Is it about nanomachines, son?
No, but it might as well be. Plum, I don't know if I doubt you've ever been to it, but there is a London Comic Con. It's called. It's just called. I think it's just called London Comic Con. It might have a specific name. I forget. But anyways, when I was living in Ireland a couple of years ago, I went to it. I took the ferry across to London. Blah blah blah. Went over there, and went to this. It was a huge event. It was kind of like it really was the London Comic Con. There was a bunch of companies that had their booths set up. And I got to play. I don't know if that was when I played Revengeance. I played Dead or Alive like 5 or 6 or whatever, because they had like all these demo booths and stuff. But the one I remember the most is they had. Was it Armored Core? I think it was Armored Core.
Is that the like ninja mech suit thing, isn't it? Or is that different?
It's basically the game for people who really like driving mechs.
Oh yeah.
Where it's got like a ridiculous controller and stuff.
Steel Battalion.
Holy crap, it's true.
Oh, yeah, not okay. It wasn't. It was Armored Core.
It's Gundam. It's Gundam, basically Armored Core. Isn't it?
It's not that crazy though. It was much more like quote unquote realistic.
It's crazy.
But anyways, what I remember most about that is I was playing the demo, and it was kind of like the kind of demo where they have like people there explaining to you how the game works and stuff. And it was on Kinect, which I'd never used before, and still think is incredibly stupid.
Yes.
But I was like, yeah, why not? I'll play it. At the time, I'd already had a couple beers, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this fucking game. And so I'm playing this Kinect, and you're going through all the motions of like go through this fucking practice run of figuring out what to do, and you like shoot targets and stuff. And I'm sitting there like shooting things, and eventually it gets to a point where this guy starts explaining to you all the parts that are in your mech, and he like the camera points up, and then you like touch your button, and you're like, that's your lights, that's how you switch weapons, that's how you do this, and they're like, okay, now over here you have to pull this thing out, open this little hatch, and there is your
Oh.
self-destruct button.
Yes, I remember that. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, that's
Right.
Fox said the name a second ago.
Right, and while because again, this is all on Connect, I'm just sitting there holding my hands out, and I'm like, okay, let me open this door, click, click, and I look at it, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna hit this fucking button.
Yeah.
And I go to hit it, and it closes the door, and like closes everything, and I'm like, no! So the guys like explained to me how to continue through the guy sitting there like trying to explain to me how to continue through the tutorial, and I completely ignoring him, open the panel back up, open the little hatch, and hit the eject button, not the eject, the self-destruct button, and blow it up, and I didn't lose.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see if
I
it
must
worked.
die with honor!
There's
And
a tutorial in that game. There's a tutorial in that game, like
Yes.
where you're being shown around by the various AI characters, and if you actually hit the button while he's saying this is the self-destruct button, he slaps your hand out the way and says, "Don't do that." Like,
oh, really? Because I
yeah,
did it afterwards.
He tells you to stop being a dick and stop messing around with the self-destruct button.
Right, because I hit the self-destruct button and it did blow up, and I did get a game over screen. And
Yeah.
the guy explained to me how the game worked. Was like, that was an interesting choice.
So it's your fault, Alex. Because of your dickishness, they had to put this feature in the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And I was like, I wanted to see if it worked.
And I will just point out that Deja has posted a video of the ninja backflip cat from Metal Gear Revengeance in the Seattle Angels public chat. So feel free to grab that and watch cats do backflips.
Meanwhile, on YouTube, we've gotten a question from Psychokin Razlan, who's asking if anyone would object if he made Mii fighters of all of us for the new Smash Brothers.
Oh boy.
I would not object one bit.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Sure, I am a swordsman.
Go for
If
it.
you can give me Mewtwo's moveset.
I'll go ranged. What are the three? There's swordsman, ranged, and
fighter.
grapple. Yeah.
I want to. Let's go fisticuffs, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take range too.
Yeah, I'm going ranged.
Let's go with range. I want to shoot
Range
people.
is the best.
I'm going to be sword because I think I've seen a tier list and I think sword is bottom tier, so I'd be sword.
Because why not?
To be fair, they're all like bottom tier or second from bottom tier. Like they're not going to be spectacular. Actually, no. Don't make one of me. Make one of Hank Hill. There.
Oh my god.
Did I ever? Wait. I think Plum. Did you link the Hank Hill? What was it? The
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what?
Yeah. I was the one.
Oh. I can't. I've listened to that several times since then. It's so.
Only several. Only several.
Well, I say several, but when I say several, I mean thousands.
At least you're honest.
It's so fucking funny. Turn down for what?
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 That's
It's beautiful. That led me to a bunch of those like parody no scope videos.
Oh god, yeah. Snipers. Snipers does the best parody no scope videos.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. They are so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
There's always like Doritos and shit.
Yeah. There's one guy called, I think it's like Dank Kush something or other like that. That's his name.
Yeah.
And he does very well edited like parody videos of like whatever. Like he edited Saving Private Ryan in order for it to be like various fake no scopers taking on panic attacks and employing speed hacks. And he also made MLG Mario, where Mario gets sick of Bowser and starts no scoping.
I think that's fantastic.
I'm gonna find your link. 1 second.
I need to go watch all these right now. Is that the same guy who did all the pony ones? Because there's one with like Twilight and another. Yeah. Oh boy, they're so fucking funny. I love those parody no scope videos.
Yep, I've seen this one.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
I don't think I've seen. No, I have not seen this one.
After the bloody stream.
Okay, I'll watch it afterwards. Damn it!
Damn it! I've denied you your Doritos.
We do have a new question.
Two Doritos. Anyway, carry on.
You have a question?
We do have a new question.
Yeah, excellent.
From the public chat, Midnight Radio Hotline asks, if you were part of an ultra-synth J-pop Sunshine and Rainbows boy band, what would you call it? Sock and the Losers.
Seattle, Roo, Angel Roo.
Neon and the Boom Booms.
Oh! That's actually a good name.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's pretty good. I'm gonna go with.
Oh,
I think. Did you answer this question once?
The plebs, but yeah, go on.
I thought we answered this question once in the shit Seattle's Angels says Tumblr that like we said that it would be called like Pav and the something, but like I wouldn't even be on stage. Like I'd be off in the corner with a triangle and like.
Oh yeah.
If any reporters came up to me, I'd like refuse to answer any questions about.
Yeah. Is that the same one where I said we should call ourselves the Pony Village people?
Yep.
Being the Red Indian.
And I said I would be the construction worker.
That's great. I don't remember that at all. That must have been absolutely.
That's a pretty old one, yeah. Also, the same person, Midnight Radio Hotline, says Senpai Kush, and I read it as Semper Kush, which would be a hell of a slogan.
Oh Lord.
That's your new FimFic motto or bio, whatever it is. Semper Kush. God.
So Pav got a question asked specifically to him.
Oh God.
Pav, are you now on a regular schedule for fic writing? And as a slightly more personal note, are you regular?
Well, you know, I keep a healthy diet of the antibiotic yogurts or probiotics. Probiotic.
Right. Are you having plenty of fiber in your diet?
Absolutely. So, Pam, you weren't here last stream, and last stream was going to be our 200 followers stream. You failed, Pav. You failed.
My failure is like a regular constant. That you know, like I feel that is the service that I provide for Seattle.
I'm not saying I was surprised, but you know.
But I'm saying, like, if I succeeded, if I met your expectations, that would throw the whole system out of equilibrium. So
the balance would be dead.
You have to be constantly failing us.
It's a very subtle balance. If I fail too hard, that throws things out of whack. You know. So I mean, it's you know, I do what I can.
I believe you.
Have you blamed Pav recently?
I blame Pav all the time.
I love
It's the Church of the Latter-day Pavs.
What are the related groups to Twilight's Library, actually? I'm going to do it.
Let's check that now.
Ooh, I forgot about that post I made for them.
We've got Shameless Self-Promotion Bureau, Celestia's Library, the Writers Group, Cadence's Library, Twilight Sparkle, Twilight's Best Friend, Art for Fan Fiction, Shipping, I Just Want to Comment on Authors Helping Authors. I'm surprised it's not like a wall of Celestia's Library, Discord's Library, Cadence's Library, Luna's Library, Fluttershy. Like, how many libraries are there now?
I don't know, but what I want to know is why we're not in every single related group list. What the fuck? What kind of bullshit is this?
I blame Pav.
We're the official group of FimFic.
Are we?
It's true.
Are we?
It's true. Go check. Ask Nighty.
I thought we were the the guys who didn't really know too much, but we sort of pointed people to good restaurants or something like that.
No, it actually turns out we're the official website of the internet.
Right.
Of the internet.
Yes.
A lot.
Okay.
Complicated.
Wow. And we're a website now too?
You know, whatever.
Yeah, we have a Tumblr and everything.
FimFic overnight.
Ah, dear.
So
I just noticed in the popular stories box is a fic called "I'm So Glad When Daddy Comes Home." Now it's rated everyone, but I feel terrible because my mind immediately jumped to something else.
You are not alone.
Oh wow.
And granted, that is not because I would like to think that's not because my mind is dirty. It's simply that I have absolutely no faith in the fanfic community. And
That too, and look, and it's also tagged romance. So
But just paraphrasing here, from Seattle's Angels to all of you watching, you're all shit.
Seattle's Angels, fuck all of you.
Not inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Mr. Pajama wearing, basket face, slipper wielding, Clyde Bleat Drackle, gather up in Blackmore, blithering Gormal Jesse, off looking Scorner, Niv Fluky shot milk drinking, soy face shellbit, Minmo sniveling worm-eyed, Hutton block, vile stoochy calibric tatty.
Yes.
There we go.
I like that the
You should
very
do
last
a
word.
wheat treatment reading sometime.
Yes.
I like that the very last word in that insult is potato.
Potato, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out
How?
that isn't.
That's not Scottish, though. That's Irish.
Potato. No. See,
Hey, it still
in
counts.
Irish you call them a lack of
Band
potato.
words.
Like being a potato is a rare gift in Ireland.
Yeah, I don't. Not anymore.
Anyway.
No joke. When I lived in Ireland, I went to a Chinese buffet, and instead of having like fucking noodles, they had fried potatoes. No fucking joke.
Wow.
I was like, are you really? I know there's a lot of potatoes in Ireland, but fucking
Like,
seriously?
You can tell what sort of what the kind of area you're in if you go to like a Chinese restaurant or an Indian restaurant. Like if it's a decent area, they'll serve your standard stuff and one or two actual Chinese or Indian dishes. If it's a shitty area, they'll serve chips. Like if they offer you chips, then don't go there. Watch your wallet on the way out. Right? Okay.
So what do you know? We are the people who recommend restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't eat at shitty Chinese restaurants, which is most of them.
Oh God! Actually, I was well surprised because I went out to see a movie with various family members. I can't remember which one it was. We were on the way back. We were quite away from our house, and we just needed food. We ended up going to what looked like the seediest Chinese place ever. It's like an industrial estate and shit like that.
Like the kind of place you'd expect to see like a Yakuza mafia meeting going on.
Yeah. It was called the Milan, which isn't the greatest name of all, and it was actually fucking sublime. It was some of the best food I've ever tasted.
Really?
I went to a Korean place one time that was like that, where the entire menu was in Korean. Everybody only spoke Korean, and like all the people looked like they were gonna kill me. But I was with my Korean friend at the time, and I got the food, and I was like, "This is the best. This is the best Korean food I've ever had in my life." But it was like a Korean barbecue, and it was so fucking good. But
Korean barbecues.
yeah. But the place was seedy as all hell.
Yeah. Like on the inside, it was actually not that bad of a place. It wasn't that seedy on the inside. It was just from the outside. It was just like, I'm gonna walk through the door and I'm gonna get threatened with a heroin needle. I'm just gonna die today.
You know, when I was living in Ireland, I saw, because heroin's a really big problem in Dublin.
Yeah.
I saw lots and lots of people doing heroin just openly. You just stand there, whoop, shooting up in the streets, and like the cops would just walk by and not do anything because nobody ever did anything. But my favorite incident, I went to my friend's house one time. My friend lived right in the middle of the city, and he lived kind of down a little alleyway you had to walk down, and they had to open the gate, so I had to wait for him to come down. And one time while I was waiting there, I started hearing like this thudding sound, and I turned around, I looked down the street, and there's some guy just stabbing this door over and over again, just shouting incoherently at it, and I'm like, And it turns out, as I looked a little closer, he was stabbing it with a needle. So,
Wow.
As you do.
Probably one of the most memorable incidents from when I was volunteering at the British Art Foundation as a little charity shop thing during the summer, because fuck getting a job when you're 17.
I had a job when I was 15.
Yeah, I had a fucking paper round until I was 17, so fuck off. But yeah.
I didn't know people still did that.
Yeah. But yeah, so probably the highlight was when I was putting stuff out in the store, and I noticed that someone was stealing, and they looked really shady as fuck. Because like the normal procedure, when you think someone's shoplifting, is to walk up to them and say, "Can I help you at all?" and just casually remind them that you're right behind their shoulder, so don't nick anything, you fucker. I didn't fancy doing that with her, and I pointed her out to my boss, and she said, "Yeah, I saw the needle in her hand too." And I was like, "What?" And I looked, and she had a fucking needle in her hand. I was like, "Right,
Wow.
okay, I'm not going to approach them. Like, let's just leave them alone."
Yeah.
But Plum, I mean, the lesson that we've learned from Friendship is Magic is that the magic of friendship can really win everything over. So I mean, I think the proper solution in that situation is that you should have gone up to her and gave her a hug.
And said everything's gonna be all right.
26 stab wounds later.
I once riding the bus to one of my friends' houses in Ireland. I once saw a guy sitting at the front of the bus. Like, because these are like the double-decker buses where the first like half of it isn't seats. It's just kind of standing area.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's standing there with his stroller with his little like 2-year-old kid in it. He reaches down into his shoe, kind of like digs around in his sock for a second, whoop, pulls up this little bag of brown shit, and I'm like, that's heroin. That is heroin. And he sticks his fingers into it, gums it up a little bit. And I'm just like, everybody's sitting here watching him, and we're all just like, And he gets off for the next stop and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's buses.
Yeah, that is buses, unfortunately.
Well,
In Scotland, they actually, like, because Scotland has more of a drug problem than England does. I don't know how it compares to Ireland. They're, like, some places around Glasgow have a heroin problem, some other places have a cocaine problem. Around Glasgow, because you need heroin to just stay sane in Glasgow, but like, around Glasgow they've actually had to install UV lighting on the buses so that you can't find your veins to insert heroin on all the buses. Because Glasgow's a shithole. You are not going to go mad. So
you need to be a bus driver there.
Glasgow is the Limerick of Scotland.
It's not great. That said, thankfully, these are the 2 jobs I've got at the moment. Neither of them are quite being threatened by needles levels. I've actually got like an hour and a half break on one of them every day, and it's like I have nothing to do in this hour and a half except drink cups of tea and read stories on my phone. So I've actually read 500,000 words in the past week.
Jesus Christ!
On my breaks.
I don't know if it's like this in England or Scotland or wherever, but in Ireland, when I was working there, we took tea breaks about every 2 hours, and for like half an hour at a time.
Yeah.
It was great. I drank so much tea living there.
Wow.
Like, it's rare when you'll see me, except for one of these streams, because I just get some scotch or something, but outside of these streams, I'm almost never without a cup of tea within arm's reach.
I know how you feel. All I drink is tea now. I don't... Water is like... Yes.
Inefficient. It's incomplete tea.
Water lacks caffeine.
It's so bland. I want it to be flavored with... do you have milk with your tea? I assume you do.
Oh, yeah. No sugar.
Obviously. You can't not.
You know, I've never had milk in a tea before.
Me neither. I was about to say.
It only works with certain teas. Like you can't have it with green tea. But if you have it,
messy.
Any like green tea or jasmine tea, you do not put milk. You just put cold water in there. Like some teas, like breakfast teas, like I like the English breakfast tea. That's the one I have at the time. That's pretty standard with milk. That's what builders have. Like if you have a builder's cup of tea, that's a breakfast tea. So.
Yes, you can't. It's incomplete to have breakfast tea without milk. It's sort of like I don't know a good example. It's
like a burger without like onions, ketchup, all that sort of stuff. Like without buns.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
If you just have the patty on its own, it's just sort of a shit steak or some really squished up mince. That's all it is. So.
Yes, tea without milk is just some squished up mints.
Completely accurate.
No, when I'm at work and having tea, I usually don't have milk nearby. I just have some powder or creamer, and I'm definitely not going to have that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, powdered creamer, man. No way.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do any good with that stuff at all. You gotta have the liquid stuff.
Right, exactly.
One of the things from the Da Vinci Code movie was when
Jesus.
he, I don't know, whatever. When he goes to the gates of his rich friend, he says,
Yeah.
"Do you have a slice of lemon or milk with your tea?" And that depends entirely on the tea. And they're like, "This is some whole posh thing." It's like, no, it's fucking not. You don't stick
Yeah.
lemon in most teas.
No, never. I don't think I've ever put lemon in my tea.
No. This is like, do you have fries or onion rings with that? Fuck off. Magical mystery question right here.
Yes. It's just milk. Milk is the only thing. People who put sugar in their tea should be put to death.
See, my entire family has just milk in their tea, and my dad has coffee. But my younger brother, he is the shame of the family. He's the one who has enough sugar for all of us together. My friend Mo, who I've not seen in a while, she had 12 sugars in her tea at one point.
Jesus.
That was a regular cup of tea.
Good lord.
She should be put to death. I don't feel like that's.
We were very
I think
proud of her.
She's already putting herself to death.
We were very proud of her when she managed to get it down to 7. And we were just like,
Wow.
when you're at 12 sugars in a tea, this is like pure sugar that you've dumped a tea bag in.
That's
Right,
like worse
yeah.
than Coke or
Yeah,
Pepsi or
you're
anything.
drinking. All you're doing is drinking sugar with tea flavoring.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Why would
Oh
you
my God.
do that?
That doesn't make. Yeah.
Oh,
Why would you have iced fucking tea? Ah.
Oh yes,
Disgusting.
that is
America,
the worst.
disgusting. Iced tea.
I may technically be from the South, but iced tea, I would kill myself before I drink iced tea.
Like, you've got I've seen adverts for McDonald's offering like gallons of iced tea.
Yes.
What the fuck, America? This is worse than squeezy cheese. Cheese in a can that does not compare to gallons of this monstrosity.
Yes, I understand. It doesn't make any sense. First off, it's not tea. All right, iced tea is not tea. It's some horrible abomination that should just be burned and kept somewhere, buried in the landfill like E.T.
Didn't they find that recently? Like they found.
They found ET. Yep.
I honestly thought for the longest time that was just like some big rumor until I dug it up and I was like, oh shit, that was real.
Wait, you actually dug up one of the ETs?
Not me, no. A bunch of like they were digging out a landfill. Some people.
The Atari games. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I miss the
dear.
old Ataris.
Anyway,
I don't.
any
Yes.
further questions or?
I think we're actually pretty close. We're at our end time.
Well, we started a couple of minutes late, so we've got a couple of minutes more. So whatever. Let's continue the discussion about ET&T.
Yes.
God damn it.
Pat, you ate squeezy cheese on a biscuit on the stream.
That was like stream number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come
You
full
did that
circle.
just for you.
I did. It was my peace offering. It was me, trying to cross the boundaries of the ocean.
This is like a peace offering where you just sort of burn a flag in front of someone. Yeah, this is a peace offering. Yeah.
Well, but it's just like those those countries over there that is the only way that they know to interact with America is to burn the American flag, and the only way that I know to interact with you is to put squeezy cheese on British delicacies and eat them.
Delicacies being the digestive biscuit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh dear. Oh.
In unrelated news, Alex and Plum, you are on FlashGen's shit list.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Anyone who believes that unsweet iced tea exists is also on it.
Yeah.
However, all this stuff about squeezy cheese and iced tea aside, I will accept people who don't like Marmite. I can totally understand that, despite absolutely loving Marmite on toast. So,
What about spotted dick?
not had it in years, so I'm not entirely sure if I like it anymore. But I remember liking it last time I had it. So,
All right.
Of course, Plum likes dick.
mhm.
Had to say it. Had to say it.
Yeah. Alex died.
Seattle's Angels, we're hilarious.
Yeah, Seattle's Angels. I like Dick, and you're all shit. Lovely. On that bombshell, I think we should probably bring it to a close, considering Alex has like disappeared into the ether. I don't know where he is.
died
Thunder
again.
Monster got him.
The Thunder Monster. Again.
Oh God. I've forgotten about that. Jesus Christ.
And because this is the 40th episode, I suppose we should recap. For anyone who doesn't remember the Thunder Monster, this was from like the very first stream
It was
where
the very first episode.
it was a dark and stormy night, and Alex kept on having thunder cutting out, and he just every once in a while was like, Jesus Christ, what was man, there was a bunch of thunder outside, and also. Unrelatedly, he's getting completely shit-faced during the stream. So he basically he goes out of his seat to get more stuff to drink, and he basically like slips and falls on the stairs, and
He never came back.
he never came back for the rest of the night. So
He fell asleep. On the
we were
stairs.
wondering what happened to him, so we speculated on stream that the Thunder Monster got him.
Ever since it's been the Thunder Monster masquerading as Alex.
Yeah, I remember distinctly because after the stream, he measured the amount of vodka he had drunk in pints.
Oh my shit.
So yeah,
Wow.
so Alex has problems.
What?
I
I had to go for it.
So you're the Thunder Monster, right?
What?
Yeah, the Thunder Monster Alex. Oh dear. Anyway, we need to bring this stream to a close. So thank you for this XL episode.
That's why I was hoping we were ending a couple minutes ago because I had to piss so bad. I've been holding it in for like an hour.
You just disappeared off the face of the line. Okay, whatever. So yeah.
But yeah,
Carry on anyway.
Yeah.
thank you for Skeeter, thank you for Arkham for joining us. It was
Yes.
a pleasure to have you guys on here.
Yes.
Sorry
Yeah,
for
no
dragging you
problem.
out so much.
What's higher up than a pleasure?
Yeah. Whoa.
An orgy. What?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay. What?